Here Monday, I think we've got a bigger crowd.
Sure.
You get injured and the other one is
Who got injured? Well, yeah. Aspettiamo un po'. Nicola. I think it's a low interest. The match wasn't very great.
English first, please. If you can raise your hand so we direct questions. First one.
Sorry, then where? Ah, here.
I'm here. Novak, obviously you read about some of your colleagues on Wednesday were upset about having to go out on the court, feeling that their careers were in jeopardy. And there's always going to be that balance between a promoter trying to make money versus the long-term career health issues. Has there ever been a time when you said, I'm not going to go out there, or try to rally some of your comrades and say, wait a minute, this is not a good idea at the promoter's expense?
Yeah, I mean, I experienced many situations in my career where I would always prioritize my health regardless of the situation. I mean, always, because I mean, we are all tennis professionals. We all want to win, and we all want to be the best in what we do. That's a fact. But this is not something that we will do all our lives. So after we are 30 or whatever, when we finish our careers, we want to still be healthy. We want to have normal families. We want to still play tennis, have the academies, be a coach, whatever, but be healthy, because this is something that matters most. And so yeah, there has been experiences where I felt that I'm hitting a wall, where I think my voice wasn't heard enough, and but I was very understandable. I try to always understand the tournaments. I try to understand the people who are participating in the organization of the events. Try to understand the ATP in the end, because we're all trying to make this sport better. So, but the fact is that the players feel frustrated. The players feel they're not protected enough, I guess, and so this is maybe a turning point for all of us. God knows what's going to happen now, but I'm actually happy to see that players are getting together in some ways. Maybe this is not a greatest subject to talk about, always, to be in fight with somebody, but at least, we're getting our voices out there.
What do you think? Novak. So for the fourth year in a row, the final is going to be played on a Monday. What are your thoughts about that?
I'm not really happy about it. To be honest, I'm not, because there is always Davis Cup, the weekend after, and last year I played finals, finished very late on Monday, took off Tuesday, arrived Wednesday, had to play on Friday already, Saturday. How's that possible? It's just too much, really. It's too much, and but that's the way it is. I guess for everybody. I'm still not in the finals, so I cannot think about that. I'm thinking about my semifinals only. But what I have to say is that I just don't understand why, if you have, for example, if you don't have a roof, okay, on this Grand Slam, why you don't have a covers on the court? So this situation would happen today on the Louis Armstrong, where Roddick and Ferrer could not continue their match, happened because they didn't have a covers and because there was too much water. And so there's some really things that I don't understand, and I really hope that people will strongly reconsider, what the players are talking about, because we are not talking about only for our interest. We also want this tournament and this sport to progress. We all want it better, right? So that's all.
Novak, just to follow up on that, it seems like they moved the final to Monday, so Nadal and Roddick's Hamilton draw wouldn't have to play 4 matches in 4 days. Do you think that would have been difficult for those guys, and does it give you and Fed any kind of advantage that you have tomorrow off?
Well, look, for the top half, it could be, you know, it has to be an advantage in some ways because we finished our 4th rounds, you know, a couple of days ago, and then today I finished my quarterfinals, so I have a day, you know, day off until my semi. So where the other guys have to play day after day, and that's the way it is. You know, you can't fight it, you can't complain. It's the mother nature that doesn't allow us.
Novak, I was just talking to Janko, and he
Yeah.
said he seems, I mean, genuinely agonized over the decision that he had to retire, and
Yeah.
and he said that had he not had Davis Cup upcoming, that he would have fought it out there and he would have stayed. And I wonder what that says to you. What does that say about him, you know, prioritizing about Davis Cup in the midst of a Grand Slam championship?
Well, it's unfortunate that he had to finish that way, that's for sure, and I really wish him good recovery. The fact is that it's a quarterfinals, and his first time in his career in the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam, and he really put a great effort out there. He was playing great tennis first 2 sets. The start of the 3rd was really still high intensity, high level of tennis, and then physically, unfortunately, he couldn't hold on, and you could see that, you know, he could not move as well as he did in 2.5 hours. Why, you know, that's his decision. You know, I cannot comment on that. I support anything he does because he's my friend and I know him well, and I know that he's somebody that doesn't like to retire. Definitely, he's a big fighter, and that just says how much he respects his country and how much he appreciates to play for his country. He wants to be fit, but you know, because Davis Cup is coming up next weekend, and he would have to play on Friday, so he has to recover if there is any injuries, you know, in his leg.
Novak,
Before I asked Nadal if he thought that the players had some responsibility in not fighting against this calendar, on the fact that there is a Super Saturday at the US Open, because, and he said, well, all players have to be united, it's not just me and Federer and Djokovic who can decide, which is true, but at the same time, Super Saturday is something that is played only by the top 4, 5, 6, 8 players. So it's actually the big ones, the top ones, who have to.
But you know, you don't know if the big ones, if the top players will arrive there. You know, they are expected, obviously, but you cannot exclude all the other players. You know, from top 20, 30, 50, top 100 in the world. They are all part of this sport, and they are all part of ATP, and we have to work together. And we are, you know, their voices have to be heard as well and considered strongly. But, you know, I agree that, you know, obviously top players are the ones who are, you know, bringing the show, and I agree with that. But again, we have to be all united in order to achieve things we want. And yeah, it's obvious. There is no secret about, you know, frustrated players out there. You could feel, you could see in last 2 days. But this is you know, it was coming for many years, you know, and we always hit the wall whenever we need to try to get something going. Why? Because we all are playing in a tour that is, you know, so demanding. We are playing in the longest season in all sports. So we are changing continents, we're changing altitude, we're changing balls, we're changing courts, everything in just a couple of days' time. You know, and there is so many things we can discuss now, but you know, it's just a never-ending story, and players have to already focus for their next match, so we cannot spend our energy on conversation and discussions, and somebody else has to do it for us. But obviously we don't have great representatives.